What's up, what's up, what's up? It's your boy Domuto. We back with another video. Today we're watching JxmyHighroller. He can't keep getting away with this. He got Jamal Murray on the thumbnail, so I'm guess talking about Jamal Murray with the game winners. You know what I'm saying? That's Clutch Murray. You know what I'm saying? Send them little LA niggas back home, son. You know what I'm saying? I love it. Boy, that Timberwolves and Nuggets series gonna be fire. I feel like that's gonna be a 7-game series. Or 6-7 game series, bro. For real. But anyway, let's get into it.
Who is the
Let me know how y'all feel about the playoffs down below.
History? Michael
I feel
Jordan,
like it's pretty good so far.
LeBron James, maybe Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. No, it's Jamal Murray with 2 minutes left in a playoff game. Can someone explain to me exactly how this man keeps
like
doing this? Go ahead and add 2 more
bad series so far
daggers to Jamal Murray's laundry list of playoff heroics. I'm not even a Lakers fan, and this shot left me in shambles. If I have to watch this man hit one more impossibly clutch shot to beat my glorious king in the playoffs, I swear I'm gonna crash out. Jamal Murray might just be the greatest playoff riser in postseason history. And I've got the numbers to prove it.
Oh, okay.
Big shot taker, big shot maker.
I mean, he wasn't really efficient in the first round, but hey, he came through when it mattered.
Today's video is sponsored
by
DraftKings.
Man, God go
It's that
support
time
my
of year,
boy.
friends. The playoffs are coming. Jamal Murray is a good NBA player throughout the regular season.
Yeah.
He's a great second option, complements Jokic's game really well, does what his team needs of him. But come the playoffs, Jamal Murray is a god. Time and time again, Murray has proven that in the postseason, there might not be a single player better than him down the stretch.
He played like this in the
clutch,
regular season,
entire
he'd easily
NBA
be an
today.
all-star.
And it is the most baffling,
And it's crazy.
beautiful, and frustrating thing I've
It's
ever
crazy how
had
he
to watch.
just
Jamal Murray's playoff career box plus minus ranks
way better in the
43rd all
postseason.
time and 27th among all players post 2000. This makes him one of the greatest playoff performers the game has ever seen, ahead of players like Tatum, Kyrie, and Pau Gasol.
And Draymond,
But his
you say
regular
Draymond.
season career box plus minus ranks 250th all time. Jamal Murray plays like a first ballot Hall of Famer in the playoffs and Hito freaking Turkoglu in the regular season. And that, my friends, is no exaggeration. According to Basketball Reference's box plus minus scale, Jamal Murray's career regular season BPM puts him at about the caliber of a decent starter to 6th man. His career playoff BPM puts him in between an all-star and an all-NBA level talent. The man has never even logged a minute in an all-star game. Now, usually in the playoffs, decent players see a dip in production. Good players have relatively steady numbers transitioning from the regular season to the playoffs, and great players elevate their game and do slightly better in the postseason. But not Jamal Murray. His numbers don't just get better, he becomes a whole different caliber of player. Because throughout his career, his production and efficiency jump significantly in the playoffs compared to the regular season.
That's crazy.
This shouldn't even be possible. The playoffs are supposed to be more difficult, slower. The teams you are facing are better. But where others fold under pressure, Jamal Murray basks in it. In fact, here's a graph of the top 50 scorers in NBA history according to their career points per game and the difference between their regular season scoring and their playoff scoring. There's 4 different quadrants here, and whatever quadrant a player falls in will give you a general idea of how well they score in the playoffs compared to the regular season. Now, you don't want to be in this area down here. Less production on worse efficiency.
Damn.
This area up here is where the playoff heroes are. Big players who play
Giannis.
well in big moments. Some greats who
Book,
land in
Davey.
this quadrant of playoff fallers are the usual suspects. Joel Embiid, James Harden, Wilt Chamberlain. But there's even some names here that you wouldn't expect, like Larry Bird and Kareem.
Oh, damn.
Michael Jordan, Luka, Curry, and Durant are among the many players who score more in the playoffs, but they aren't quite as efficient as they are in the regular season, which shows just how hard it is to make it into this quadrant of the best playoff performers in terms of scoring. Hakeem Olajuwon was a playoff demon, and just behind him are AD and Giannis, who have been awesome in the playoffs throughout their careers. So where does Jamal Murray land, you might ask? He's way up here, on his own planet, as arguably the greatest playoff riser in NBA history. Throughout his career, Jamal Murray has averaged 7.4 more points per game on better efficiency in the postseason compared to the regular season. As the stakes get higher, Murray gets better almost every single time. Every all-time great player needs a great wingman. A second option that can turn into a first option with the flip of a switch.
Yeah.
Someone whose game complements and almost contrasts their own. Jordan had Pippen, Magic had Kareem, Shaq had Kobe. Nikola Jokic has Jamal Murray. And as great as these number one options they couldn't have got it done without their right-hand man. But you see, the only thing is, Scottie Pippen is one of the greatest players ever.
That nigga don't rise for shit.
Is in GOAT conversations.
He's
Kobe
a good all-around player.
is a top 10 talent the league has ever seen. Jamal Murray has never even been an all-star. He has been carrying a title-contending team, a championship-winning team, down the stretch of massive games for multiple postseasons now. He's got one of the greatest players to ever touch a basketball on his team, and yet when the score gets tight and they need a bucket, the ball always finds its way into the hands.
Yeah, that's crazy, because now you can't, we look at, like, for Jamal Murray, you can't look at, like, a regular season stats and be like, man, he had a crazy year, but it's like, it's kind of like Jimmy Butler. I feel like Jimmy Butler's one of those players too, as well. Like, he just kind of just goes through the regular season, then the playoffs go, he just turned to a different nigga. Like, him and Jamal are like cut from the same cloth, but Jamal is
fan
fucking
perception
crazy.
Of Jamal Murray's game over the years has been pretty clear. Good player, great closer, but not a top 20, maybe not even a top 25 player in the league during certain stretches throughout the season. And then when the playoffs roll around, it seems like a travesty that Murray doesn't get enough credit or that he wasn't voted to be an all-star. But this perception is actually fair. Jamal Murray might not be one of these top players throughout the regular season. Murray has missed nearly half of all games over the last 5 seasons, which probably has more to do with his 0 all-star nods than anything else. But even a healthy Jamal Murray falls behind many guards in his own conference throughout an 82-game schedule.
There's a lot of
now,
guards.
Murray's game is not favored as far as advanced metrics go. When evaluating Murray in the regular season, these metrics have him ranked somewhere around the 30th to 35th best player in the league in 2024, the 65th to 70th best player in 2023, and in his last healthy season up until that point in 2020, where he fell somewhere between the 70th and 80th best player in the league,
but Jamal in
according to
2020
advanced
was
metrics.
crazy.
But we know these numbers aren't a true reflection of Murray's game, because we've seen him in the playoffs, where his advanced metrics look like this, and his value skyrockets into a top 10 or top 12 player in the league throughout the postseason. And although his advanced metrics from this past season have him outside of the top 30 players in the league, I don't know if I can name even 10 players who I would rather have on my team ahead of Murray right now in the playoffs. Here is a chart of the top 40 scorers in the regular season throughout the NBA since 2019 among players who have played at least 10 playoff games. Jamal Murray is down here in 38th place. A good scorer, but far from the best in the regular season. And now here are those same players and their scoring averages in the postseason over that same time span, where Jamal Murray jumps from the 38th highest scorer in the league to the 16th highest scorer in the playoffs.
That's crazy.
But let's take this even further, because here are those same players and how many points they score on average in the fourth quarter of playoff games, where Jamal Murray is ahead of every
Russ. I'm
other
looking at Russ
player in the league over the last 6 seasons.
That nigga
Jamal Murray is not only the most elite fourth quarter scorer in the playoffs over the last half decade, he is nearly the most efficient fourth quarter scorer in the playoffs outside of big men. This is the kind of production you see from MVP caliber players, all-time greats at their peak, not a player who is the second option on his own team. Even after his historic run in last year's finals, Jamal Murray was floating around a top 20, top 30 player in the league this season. Some media outlets didn't even have him in their top 30, and it might be justified, because Jamal Murray is always good in the regular season, but it's not until the postseason where he becomes great. Of all the mainstream rankings this season,
he played good when he matters.
Had him about as high as you're gonna see, 18th. And their one sentence.
He plays good when it matters, because some of them names that's in the top 30, once the playoffs come, they are looking at the top 60. So let's talk about that.
Pretty much sums him up as a player.
You need to do a video on that, JxmyHighroller.
Who knows how to meet the moment.
Need to do a video
Jamal
on
Murray
that.
isn't the only player who has the ability to take his game to another level in the playoffs. Some players that come to mind when I think of playoff risers are Jimmy Butler, Kawhi Leonard, Luka Doncic. And so here's a chart of every single player that has logged at least 2,000 playoff minutes since the turn of the century. 107 players to be exact. And they're plotted on this graph based on two key metrics: the difference in their box plus minus from the regular season to the postseason on the y-axis, and the difference in their win shares per 48 from the regular season to the postseason on the x-axis. The further up a player is, the more productive he is in the postseason relative to the regular season. And the further right a player is, the more he is contributing to his team's wins in the postseason relative to the regular season.
Okay.
So similar to the scoring chart from earlier, being up here is really good. Being down here is not so good. But keep in mind, this isn't about how well a player plays in the playoffs. This is a visualization of who rises the most in the playoffs relative to how well they play in the regular season. Down here in the void, we have players like Gary Payton, Kevin Love, and surprisingly, Tony Parker, who saw dips in the playoffs throughout their careers. There's James Harden, about where you would expect. As we approach a more neutral territory, we'll find players like Jimmy Butler, Vince Carter, Stephen Curry, Kobe Bryant. As we creep our way towards the positive side of things, we'll find players like Tim Duncan, Anthony Davis, and Chauncey Billups. But all the way up here are the big game merchants, the players who really take their game to another level in the playoffs. Guys like Kawhi Leonard, Derek Fisher, Giannis, Big Shot Bob, Draymond Green, an unexpected but delightful Reggie Jackson appearance. And of course, Playoff Rondo, who is one of the biggest playoff risers of the 21st century. He's got a fairly big lead on just about everyone else. But in terms of production and playing winning basketball, no one comes even remotely close to Jamal Murray.
Damn.
Who is possibly the greatest playoff riser in NBA history.
That nigga different. Shout out Jamal Murray, man. Damn. That nigga cold, but yeah. Playoff riser. Look, playoffs is what matters most. Playoffs is what matters most. I will keep saying that because that regular season shit cool, you know what I'm saying? Get a nice little, you got the scoring title? Okay, cool. First round exit. Yeah, wow, why are you scoring 15 points a game? You just dropping 32 points a game, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, shout out to JxmyHighroller for this video. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Check out the last JxmyHighroller video right here. Check out that video right here, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.